We are live on
Friends,
YouTube.
yeah. Friends, a very good morning to all. Thank you for joining the morning session at 11 with ACAE, Association of Corporate Advisor. Friends who are not here from Calcutta, I think I find many people joining from out of Calcutta and West Bengal. Let me tell you about ACAE. ACAE is an organization of professional chartered accountant, company secretary, and advocate. So this is one of the biggest professional association in this part of India, and we do a lot of programs on technical and non-technical and other aspects, and to and we have even sorry so we have members from all over the country. So friends, this session at 11 we are conducting for last 20 days, and please do join us on other topics too. And we'll be having one more topic on insolvency in the next week. We will inform you. And on tomorrow we are having a very exciting session on Zumba. Yes, Zumba. I mean you can break your boredom and be involved and also make yourself fit. So, friends, uh, today's topic we have with us CA Anil Goel. We will be taking a session on how do we conduct CIRP and liquidation proceedings while we are in lockdown period. As we all know that the timeline has been suspended, or other timeline has been relaxed for this period of lockdown. But yes, friends, it's very important that we continue the CIRP, whatever the possible timeline is there. We do continue in this period while we are locked down. Yes, I am also handling few cases of CIRP, wherein I try to do regular COC meeting and whatever timelines. Even we are also taking or conducting the bidding online during this period. We are having a regular interaction with all our staff, the financial creditors and the operation creditors. So friends, yes, to reduce our burden which might come on altogether when this lockdown is removed, it's very important that you continue with the CIRP proceedings in whatever way possible even during while we are locked down. There are a lot many uh, functions which we can still do even while, yes, the field work cannot be done, but yes, there are many functions which can be done. So we were discussing with Anil ji. Anil ji is also rather doing most of the CRP functions and liquidation functions even during this liquidation period. So let us now see that how more effectively, or how we can rather, and what functions we can perform even during this lockdown period. Anil Goel ji, as we all know, is managing director and chairman of AAA Insolvency Professional, one of the biggest insolvency professional in India, and he is handling hundreds of cases. So I think, everyone over here knows pretty well about Anil ji. So Anil ji, over to you. You may start this session.
Thank you, Jitinder. Thank you very much. And I thank the organization for inviting me to this session. Good morning to everyone. And this session is nothing about the technology and nothing about the working at home or working out of the office. This is just sharing with you my experiences. As we have achieved working from home, we have achieved to that extent that we have analyzed that at times we started feeling that this is even better than working from office. So this is what I can say briefly, that our experience for during this period is awakening. We are finding ourselves more efficient. We are finding ourselves more productive. Of course, there are hurdles, and those hurdles also, once some movement will start. But the biggest hurdle that we are facing so far is that there is no bidder in the market. There is no resolution applicant in the market. The economy actually have gone on a pause. So whatever we work from home, whatever we are able to use technology, whatever way we are able to complete our pending jobs, but the success lies only when there is a bidder, when there is a buyer. This is what is the insolvency or liquidation all about. This is not something that we are going to tell you some technology, but I'm sharing with you that how we divided our teams at AAA, how many teams are working, and the teams have been divided based on the capability required, so that one capability people, one kind of mindset people, they should work together, and they should always complement each other. So the I have put down my experiences on a slide. I will share that slide with you, and I believe we'll go one by one, because see, while I'm sharing my experiences with you, it would be for all of you to see how we are 100% COVID-19 compliant. We all are staying at home. We all are safe. We are maintaining social distance, and also we are conducting CIRP and liquidation processes. I will also share with you what exactly we could do, and that's what we are working. So the first of all, I would just brief the advantages of working from home. There are initially we all started loving it, because like everyone can work the way he want to work in. He can work while wearing Bermudas or sweatpants, as against business casuals or business formals. We also started loving the time that we are spending with our family, and also time that we are spending for our indoor passions. The time that we saved from commuting, that was our own time. The reading books, reading law books, updating ourselves, it was also we started liking. We created our own working environment, the kind of tea that we need, the kind of coffee that we need during working hours, the kind of water that we need, the kind of atmosphere, noise, whatever we wanted, that we created at home. That was also much liked. We also decided our own working hours, that we wanted to start at 11 o'clock or at 12 o'clock or even early morning. That was also very nice to understand and practice. However, it was also difficult to really understand that while we are working on video conferencing, audio calls, phones, emails, WhatsApp chats, everything, can it become really an office? Now it is too many days that while we have seen the productivity, while we have seen the technology, while we have also seen how disciplined we are we committed, are we casual, or are we disciplined? That also depends whether you like working from home or not. As gradually we started feeling as if it is a solitary confinement, and also we started feeling the craving for human interaction, or you can call gupshup. The office gupshup is very, very important for some. Some of the technical issues, like at some of the people, some locations where our employees are located, we have seen that the internet is not working at that speed. That also brought down the productivity of those human resources. uh, we also felt that in office there is an environment where everyone is considered a junior, senior, mid-level, and as you grow in the organization, your working style, your working environment improves. Your cabin becomes bigger, your uh, staff becomes better. So that kind of motivation is missing. Like, I'm working from home and my other people are also working from home. Everyone is wearing a shirt, everyone is just on a computer, everyone is talking to each other on video. So that kind of motivation, that I want to achieve the place of my immediate reporting boss, that motivation is missing while we are working from home. The kind of social working that we do in the office, that is also missing. The kind of general talks that we normally do at lunch, that is also missing. The corporate culture also started missing. All this is okay, but then still we all have found a way. We all have found a way. Anyone who actually can consider himself as a disciplined and passionate, then he can actually work from home. And the kind of technologies that we have explored, it actually will not leave that person behind. So his productivity would be much better. So now the time has come that anyone who actually can have the duty at home, somebody might have a babysitting at home, somebody might have a different some kind of sickness some in the family. So this is possible now that we can allow people to work from home, because this is the awareness, this is the jagriti that we have taken in this period. So like while we are saying so, there are basic requirements that we actually have seen that these basic requirements are important. One, good quality computer or laptop, because the good quality of computer or laptop will actually assure your speaker, it will assure a good mic, it will assure a good camera, so that you enjoy video calling, so that you enjoy the voice of everyone. A good quality internet connection, telephone connection, mobile connection, access to office data. I mean, see, like we have dedicated a person who actually is having access to the office servers. So it is his duty. It is only one person. He is sharing that particular data with all human resources, whosoever asks for the data. So one person is only duty bound to access the office servers and share the data selectively with those people who are working on those cases. The video apps, in any case, we have tried video apps, we have tried Zoom to the best possible manner, we tried GoToMeeting, and very recently we saw that this Google Meet is also very important. Anyone who is paying for the Gmail ID, the Google Meet has given them a free membership of video conferencing up to 250 participants, up to 250 participants. And then the sixth difficulty that we faced, that some people at home, they were not having the tele software, they were not having Computex software. So we actually bought tele softwares for 1 month, and it was costing only at 600 rupees. And later on, in fact, the tele software, they made it free for chartered accountants. So that is the only the license that we wanted to buy. Otherwise, for other software that we use, even in our chartered accountancy firm, that software is easily accessible from home. I will actually show the various things that we've been doing. However, whenever I'm doing, see, the moment I'm saying, I'll see, based on my study, based on the various notifications of Ministry of Health Fair, various experts have also given their guidelines that once you start working in a spread manner, while your employees may be located anywhere in India, and they are participating into your meetings, they are participating and they are accessing your computer. Although we are not allowing anyone to access our server, that is the best thing that we have done. The server is not accessible except our IT admin. So these are the general guidelines that before we start working from home, we must see that all our passwords are strong passwords, including the passwords for accessing our computer, our system. So this when see like this is these are the guidelines I'm missing, because this everyone has read, because this is the MHA guidelines for having video conferencing. But these guidelines are basically for when we are working in a spread manner, not working from one roof. We need to change our passwords for all kind of devices that we are using and online accounts. We also should make sure that we are not using the same device for official work and for leisure activities. For example, gaming or even fun websites. We should not use that particular device for gaming or even fun websites. We should keep our operating systems updated for antivirus. The remote control, whenever we share our screen with someone, that should not be done unless it is supervised by you. We should use the secure network for accessing office system. As I said, that we have never shared our office system with anyone, it is only with our IT admin. We should be very careful from the phishing emails, because these emails actually may be disguised as something similar to your superior in the office, or something superior to your family member mail ID. And immediately you would start acting on that mail ID, and later on you would actually come to know that it was a phishing email and it has actually generated a lot of virus in the computer. Wi-Fi connection must be password protected. So let's see how we do CIRP, how we do liquidation. I'll just go one by one. The first thing is that in our office we have crafted a CIRP team, which teams mostly it consists of law graduates, company secretaries, bankers, Then we have the claim verification team, which also has bankers, Excel experts, and law graduates, because see, the law graduates are only supporting their questions whenever a claim comes. Then we have the front end team. See why I'm discussing the team, because I then will discuss which team is able to work 100% from home, which team is not able to work, and to what extent they are able to work. Now, this front end team, which is basically we use for taking control and custody, they include ex-servicemen, field managers. Then we have this resolution plan facilitation, or you can say M&A experts. They are senior marketing resources. They are assisted by data managers, digital marketing executives. Their job role is to find resolution applicants in the market, to spread around the word in the market, and also to meet various prospective resolution applicants. Legal team, certainly only advocates and company secretaries are there, except the court clerks. Other than the court clerks and clerks and the messengers, then we have the liquidation team. A liquidation team is also like law graduates, MBAs, and the company secretaries. We then go on to the asset sale team, because see, the asset sale team is very, very important for all the liquidation cases. Our asset sale team comprises of the senior marketing resources assisted by data managers, digital marketing executives. Information technology team, they all handle hardware and software. They are consisting of hardware and software professionals, because they handle all the 300 human sources that we have, and all the systems and the softwares that we have. HR team is they look after recruitments, appraisal, and the salary, and the composition of salaries. Accounts and finance team, they have chartered accountants and accountants, but they maintain the accounts for our own organization, for all the 153 corporate debtors that we are presently handling, because for each one there is an accounting that we need to do. Compliance team. Now, after this GST notification, after this MCA notification regarding INC 28 and other documents, various IBBI compliances, various IPA compliances. Now, see, we have crafted a compliance team which looks after, in each case, GST returns, GST registrations, TDS returns, TDS payment, INC 28, various other documents that to be filed, IBBI compliances, IPA compliances. See, then we have the marketing team, and they actually spread around good word regarding AAA. They go for the bid evaluation, they find a technical bid, they go for financial bid, they interact with the ultimate customers to showcase the achievements of AAA. So this marketing team, again, senior marketing executives, digital marketing, and then the final is the security and watch and ward team. So you would probably you would be surprised why this team is required, because see, when you are handling so many cases, you would not believe that we have presently something like 100 locations which are under our custody and control, and we have deputed watch and ward guards. All these agencies, all these security agencies, they actually have to be controlled, they have to be interacted, they have to be watched, they have to be supervised, they have to be inspected. This is what this particular security team does. So when we say that these are the teams, let us see what exactly the job of the team, and what is exactly what we could do and what we could not do. First of all, I would tell you what we could not do, which is part of the CIRP and liquidation process. First of all, the physical movement of employees or partners for COCs or for stakeholders consultation committee meetings is not possible during this period. Physical possession, control, and custody of the assets of the corporate debtor was not possible. Physical inspection of the security arrangements at the location of the corporate debtor or the assets or the businesses of the corporate debtor was not possible. Marketing meetings in person with prospective customers could not be done. Physical inventory of assets, stocks, and other items at CD location could not be done. Physical verification of assets by registered valuers for valuation purposes was also put on complete pause. Physical inspection of assets or company as a whole by a prospective resolution applicant or bidder was also completely on hold. So this is one part which is the most impacted adversely, because one, that there is no will to invest money. Second, there is no possibility of having physical inspection. I would actually share with you that during this period, although the email reading data, the how many emails are read whenever we send a bulk email, there is a data which is called email opening data. We have actually achieved something like 70-80% of email opening data, because everyone is now on email, so they are not busy in physical and in-person meetings. So emails were being opened, but the leads were not coming. Everyone must have kept it only as something to do after the lockdown is open. The courier and postal services were not there, so it impacted us adversely. Physical file inspection or taking any physical records from the office was also not been done. So whatever is available digitally is done. Luckily, fortunately, we had most of the things on our server in a digital file. So we are also maintaining a file and a folder naming culture. File and folder naming culture that we have uh, implemented in our office. So the meaning of this is that whenever any file or any folder is created, there is an existing guideline that in what kind of folder it will go and what kind of name that you would kept. So this I have implemented. We have implemented in AAA. Of course, that NCLT, NCLAT, Supreme Court, or any court hearings, or even taking copies of the order, that could not be done. This is the biggest thing that this could not be done. So, what exactly we could do during the lockdown period? All our employees and partners are having access to office servers through our IT admin. We are all connected via video calls, video conference, phones, email, WhatsApp chat. Everyone is able to talk to each other. And we made sure that in case at any place, in case any of our employees not having computer at home, so we actually
Anil, can you be just a bit louder actually? Maybe some.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
is it better now? Is it better, Jitendra ji?
Yeah, fine, fine. Now it's okay.
Okay, so luckily we could get one or two passes. So we actually arranged our office computers to those employees who are not having a computer at home, and the internet data was used by using hotspot of their mobile, and we also announced that any additional data used by the employees would be reimbursed. So the most of the laptops or computers or internet connections were provided to all the employees. Timesheet software. Now, timesheet software is a very important. We are actually using a software called iFirm. It is from a company called CCH. That also is being used by most of chartered accountants. So this timesheet software is being used by our employees. So they actually fill their timesheet and how they spent the day on what job, on what assignments. In case we work harder, then we can even set standards that total time required for preparation of a petition or preparation of minutes or notice. And then once the standard time is there in the timesheet, then this software gives us alert that this person has exceeded the time or this person is actually working under the time. So we can even announce every month somebody who is working with the best capacity and somebody who actually is not working as per the standards. We can even tell him that you need to improve, or we can even put him to PIP, performance improvement program. We have subscribed to the video conferencing apps, as I said, Zoom, GoToMeeting, Google Meet, because it was one subscription was not enough. So we actually had to go for multiple meetings. There were some banks while we were doing the COC meetings, ICICI Bank refused to come on Zoom. Even the SICOM refused to come on Zoom. Then we had the COC meeting on GoToMeeting. Google Meet is one very important because Google Meet is a little recent, so not many people already had downloaded this app. But this is again very effective, very so far secured as it has got a Google backing. Uh, at some of the locations where our security guards are posted, we in fact earlier we had installed the CCTV cameras and DVRs for the security at some of the locations of the carpet data, especially where the operations were going on. So material in gate, material out, human resources in and human resources out gates. We actually had installed CCTVs and DVRs, and all those information is connected to internet, and we can even see all that movement while sitting at home. access to lead management software at home computers, because see, like in the asset sale department, we are using a lead management software. Whatever advertisement that we do, even the property portals, even the newspaper inserts, even the advertisement in the newspaper, or even the banners, uh, various kinds of bulk mails and bulk SMS, we use only digital mobile numbers. Anyone calling on those digital mobile numbers, that call gets registered into a lead management software, and our human resources, who are the part of the asset sale team, they would look into each lead. They would contact them. They would give them the information on a DVR, on a VDR, a virtual data room. The all that information, the information about the asset, the title deed, the due diligence, everything which is required for due diligence, legal due diligence, etc. Everything would be uploaded on a virtual data room, and that virtual data room would be shared with all those leads. This best part of this lead management software is that we nobody can delete a lead. And the second best part is that now we are sharing all the leads along with the name and mobile numbers to our stakeholders for the purpose of transparency. I have seen even the I have seen even the bankers, even the stakeholders, they call all those people that we circulate, that these are the people who actually uh, they inquired about the property, and then finally they did not participate into the bidding. I have seen, witnessed that the people, the bankers, even calling them, asking them questions. What are the questions that they asked? Whether the liquidator provided you all the information, whether the liquidator attended you well, why did you not participated into the bidding? You think the price was okay? So all these questions were being asked. So that actually assures that actually a kind of a confidence was generated in the market that the AAA is transparent and AAA is doing ethical practice. As I said, that even subscribing to Tally software for 1 month at costing 600 rupees only. So this is much less than the cost of a human resources. So everyone who was working on Tally software, they have been given Tally software license at home, and even some of the license were taken even free of cost, as it was offered to chartered accountants. As I said, that some of the physical movements that we could do. So these are now the things that we could do, and these are some of the things that we couldn't do, and the kind of requirements, the equipment required, the atmosphere, everything that I have given to you, how we worked. And now I would be coming to the working of the CIRP team, what part we could do and what part we couldn't do. Let's understand, like, what are the main roles of a CIRP team. Maybe everyone would have different roles, because we have different teams depending upon the capabilities required. So the communication with creditor committee of creditors was done. Communication with the appointment of registered valuers seeking fee quotes, negotiation, it was done. Similarly, communications with an appointment for appointment of transactional auditor, appointing them, giving them the engagement letter, taking from them the disclosures, everything was being done. Preparation of notices, agenda, minutes of the meeting was done. Preparation of information memorandum, preparation of expression of interest document, eligibility criteria documents, everything was done. The RFRP was done, preparation of bid evaluation metrics done, mapping of the resolution plans with RFRP and the eligibility criteria document was done. Verification of the mandatory documents, mandatory contents of the resolution plan, is other legal provisions was done. The most important is that the committee of creditors meetings was being done. Most bankers now prefer, and I am actually telling you, this is my feeling, that in future also most bankers will prefer that we will participate through video conferencing, because it actually saves time, it saves traveling, and even this kind of COVID-19 the scare, this will continue for at least next 4 to 5 months. And in next 4 to 5 months, all the COC meetings and stakeholders consultation committee meetings will actually take place through the video conferencing. So the next team, which is a very important, is the claim verification team. So as you understand, for the claim verification, there is no physical movement required. Whatever we are supposed to do, receive, collate claims from all the financial creditors, unsecured financial creditors, operational creditor, workman, employee, government authorities, verification of the claim documents, matching with the claim form, discussions and meetings with the legal team for various issues, So our teams were actually meeting, they having the video conferencing meetings with the legal team, because the claim verification team used to ask questions from the legal team regarding the admittance or rejection of the claim. Communication with the claimants regarding any deficiency or the documents or the calculations, modification of the team, preparing list of creditors, submission to adjudicating authority. So this was also difficulty. We could not submit documents to adjudicating authority. So we are presently doing about 32 liquidation cases. Out of the 32, in most of the cases, and in fact all the cases, that we submitted our progress report on 15th of April by way of an email, and that to the registrar of that particular NCLT bench. And then we will file the physical copy whenever it opens. So the claim verification team was able to do 100% things, and the CIRP team was also able to work 100%. There was no difficulty, and everyone started liking this way rather than the way before, which was traveling from Mumbai or traveling from across the country to attend a COC meeting. And now everyone has started liking this. The voice, the document sharing, as I'm sharing with you a PPT, I would actually share with you how. I'll just see in case I just simply stop this sharing, and I will actually take you to another screen. Maybe I'll take you to this screen. Now I'm actually trying to show you that even I can work on Tally software while you are able to see. I can even work with my clients. I can even do a ledger scrutiny. I can even do the kind of normal activities that we do in auditing, or normal activity that we do with the companies that we are managing. So whenever we are actually managing all these companies, the important part that I was trying to discuss with you is that we interact with the employees who are operating the company. We look into their books of account, their payments, their receipts, and control on the fund flow. Now, see, we can even see, in case we are doing the ledger scrutiny of that company which we are managing under CIRP, we can even have the meeting with the employees of that company. We can see, in fact, I had many meetings with the key managerial personals of all those companies which we are managing. And all those personals, like everyone started discussing, see, like everything is possible. So we never thought before that we can even have meetings with all the key managerial personals who are running the organization. So this was a wonderful experience, that we can even see their accounts. We can even work on an Excel sheet. I will just show you how, see, like we can collectively work on Excel sheet. So if I actually share with you a screen, okay, see, are you able to see this screen? Or so like I have to stop the other one. I will stop the news, share another screen. So this, like if I am working here, so if I'm doing something on this sheet, it is everyone can see. So this is
No, no, no.
something.
Your screen is not visible, Anil.
Okay, okay, I'll just share with you. So like I said that we can even complete ledger scrutiny, complete Excel sheet. If I'm typing something, you can see. If I'm working on something, you can see. So this is what we normally do in the office. Like when we go to office, that means that we actually work, because we work on some things together collectively, and now we are working from home. So the best part that I explored is that the ledger scrutiny, while my client is also sitting, my accountant is sitting, my audit team is also sitting, and the team of the corporate data is also sitting. So we can have ledger scrutiny, and whatever question comes in my mind, immediately it can be asked. So this team, the front end team, the control and custody of the corporate data, is the ultimate adversely impacted team. Visiting all the locations of the assets was not possible. Taking control and custody of the operations of the corporate data, making inventory of the asset stocks was not possible. Deputing security guard, supervisor, and gunmen, depending upon the requirement of the security, was not possible. The only thing what is not possible, which is restricted by movement. Once the movement is opened, once the movement opens, I think most of us probably would like to still work from home, because the movement is the only thing which actually is restricting our activities. There is no other thing which is restricting. Keeping control of over the material in, material out gates, unless there is a CCTV that we have installed. Otherwise, at not every place that we have installed CCTVs, and there are many places that are actually still it is closed. Regular inspection of the security guards, that is also not possible. Facilitating inspections of the prospective resolution applicants or bidders, that is also not possible. So this team is adversely impacted, and it's primarily because of the movement restrictions. Nobody can travel, no security guard can go, no team member can go. There is no bus, there is no train, there is no flight. So that is the adverse impact. Once the movement starts, this particular team will immediately start working on the same capacity. Now, the resolution plan facilitator, or what is called merger and acquisition team, these people, they are senior marketing people. They can even talk about a company. They can talk about a corporate director, the kind of operations, capacity, products manufactured, the kind of investments required, future profitability, EBITDA projections. This is a team which actually will create resolution applicants. They would prepare teaser, they would generate interest in the market, then they will go and uh, they will go and check, have meetings with them. They will see their interest, and in case they find that their interest is there, then they will follow them, provide them comfort, have the meetings with the RP, who is a partner, to give the comfort to the resolution applicant. I am actually sharing with you one thing, that the resolution applicants are not available. They have to be developed. We in our office, we always say in our organization, resolution applicant is not available. They will not come to you automatically. You have to develop a resolution applicant by just convincing him that this is a good deal for you. You have a synergy, and this property, this particular authority, company is available to you at a throwaway price. We are doing this part by bulk email, bulk SMS, online property portals, interaction with the strategic players in the market. We are also doing this by the asking the leads and developing them as a prospective resolution applicant, facilitating due diligence by the PRAs. Meeting with the PRAs is not possible. uh, See, everything is done, but the meeting was not possible. The meeting, I had a couple of meetings on video with the prospective resolution applicant. That was also considered okay, because earlier we normally see that some person is interested in a property and he's located in some distant place. So, but this idea was not there, that you can actually have such a comfortable meetings on video. Working of the legal team is adversely impacted because of the NCLT benches are not open, the applications are not being filed. However, they are reviewing their pending cases, and we have taken up a very big challenge, that we are preparing a case digest. But they are preparing their applications, replies, affidavits, the rejoinders, and they are working with the appointed lawyers in each case. They are studying the judicial orders, developing a better understanding. See, we actually have started training sessions almost every second day, where all our team get together on video, and some of them who actually have prepared a particular case, they are interacting. They are giving all the cases. They are giving the complete ratios of the cases and final view of court. And then all the partners and team members, they ask questions. So we have so far conducted many such meetings, and this has been considered a wonderful time for even learning. Uh, Training of other teams other than partners, consultation with the partners, everything is being handled by the legal team, but the applications are not being filed. Working of the liquidation team is again, in case we understand, everything is being done again, like leaving aside the uh, public announcements, verification of claims, the list of creditors, preliminary report, asset memorandum, quarterly progress report, receipt and payment account, asset sale report, adjudicating authority. Like, it is only something which is not we are not able to file physically. Otherwise, we are able to file by email. Convening stakeholders consultation committee meetings, preparing notices, minutes, appointment of registered valuers, interacting with them, proper information sharing, providing them with all the relevant documents, helping them to reach an appropriate value. Why I'm saying this appropriate value, which is very important. My experience is that in case the valuers are not able to provide you a real value of the asset, looking into the business prospects, looking into the future profitability, looking into not only the historical cost of the asset, but the future uh, uh, earning capacity. So in various cases, like we are handling a lot of thermal power and other power plants. So we actually feel that if a valuer gives us a valuation based on the historical cost of land and building, plant and machinery, then it is not possible to have a successful CIRP or even successful liquidation. Because see, you can spoil your CIRP and you can spoil your liquidation process completely in case your valuation is not accurate. So the valuers has to be provided complete input. Valuers has to be worked with, and don't think that the valuers will give a report and that report you will simply accept. No, the you have to provide facts to the valuer. You have to understand the strategy, and also if you read the section 35 very clearly, it is the liquidator who actually have to give the mandate to the valuer whether the valuation is required as a going concern or valuation is required as a piecemeal or as a business as a going concern. So even during the liquidation process, we have prepared sales certificates and the execution of sale deed, and it's not possible because only to the extent of sales certificate we've done for the sold assets. Working of the asset sale team. As I said that the asset sale team, the primary job is that they would collect information for each asset like land, building, plant and machinery, vehicles, etc. There are formats that we have prepared which actually provides answers to the frequently asked questions. We only just thought that in case we have to buy an asset, what would be the first 30 questions that we would ask? So that particular 30 questions we have jotted down, and that has become a format that what we think that we would ask anyone. Similarly, we actually have asked our team to prepare this information memorandum, or you can say teaser. In case of the company as a going concern, then we also try to calculate the capacity, technology, human resources, EBITDA, future EBITDA, and the peak turnover achieved by this company. Uh, Preparing a one-pager teaser, frequently asked questions, spreading it around to the database, collecting data of that target audience, circulation of the teaser, management of the leads through the lead management software. All the information has to be provided to the prospective bidder. Everything was being done except the prospective bidders. We are not finding prospective bidders at this period. Anyone who is inquiring, we also understand is also passing time, but we are not finding serious bidders at this time because the market is not uh, uh, accepting that they should invest. Market is only presently focusing on keeping the cash. So no investment proposals are being taken. Everyone is just trying to keep cash. Coming down to the information technology team, they are very busy. They are more busier than before. They are providing all the they are sharing data with every team members. They are also trying to arrange computers and laptops at homes. They are actually hosting the video meetings because of so that there should not be any clash of timing. They are complete. They are hosting the meetings on COC meetings, SCC meetings, internal meetings, meeting of partners with the team, meeting of teams with the teams. They are also holding all this because see, like we have to provide, as you all understand, that whenever we do a video conferencing, we actually have to give a telephone number of a IT admin person. So he handles all the queries. There are three people in our IT team. They handle all the queries from all the stakeholders, COC members. They facilitate them. They're all taking the hardware and software calls within the office organization. Anything which is possible to repair by taking a remote control of the screen or the computer system, that is also being done. The HR team, one which is very clear that we are not recruiting, or probably I would understand that everyone presently is not recruiting. However, that the HR team is completing the pending data of the employees and the partners. They are actually doing all these TDS calculations, which was pending. Appraisal is being done now. Working on the future profiles, that is also being done. The preparation of induction kit and training schedules, because the induction kit is very important. All that important documents that an employee must understand while joining the organization, including the organization structure, the computer system structure, the file and folder naming culture, the admin responsibilities, the IT admin responsibilities, the everything has to be understood. The leave policy, the other salary policy, employee policy, everything they are now trying to collate and trying to make it a mini HR manual, which actually will have all the policies. They are also conducting interviews on video calls, and the recruiters are also they are doing their job, but then recruitment is all pending. I would only share with you. We have accounts and finance team because see, like we are supposed to provide CIRP cost at every COC meeting or every SCC. We are also providing that total liquidation cost so far. So whatever expenditure that we are doing, we are maintaining the account for each corporate debtor, and this accounts and finance team is actually doing that. For liquidation cases, we are supposed to prepare receipt and payment account, and we have to get audited in a once in a year. For all the CIRP cases, we are supposed to get the balance sheets finalized, and we are also supposed to get the auditing done. All this team is doing for all the corporate debtors that we are handling. The updating all the data of the corporate debtor, assisting partners and the other team members in understanding the financial statements of the corporate debtors, because there are partners who are by qualification they are engineers, by qualification they are merchant bankers. So they this team also try and assist them in understanding the financial statements of corporate debtor. And this team also look around in case any interim finance is required for any company. We This compliance team, as I said, that team has become very important recently because of GST compliances, because of ROC compliances. Even the books of accounts are also supposed to be prepared for each corporate debtor. The GST returns, GST registration, the TDS returns, TCS returns. In some cases, even the income tax returns, the registers and various ledgers that we are supposed to make under liquidation, the compliances towards disclosure for IBBI and IPA. We actually have a checklist for IBBI and IPA disclosures, completion of audited financial statements and other annual compliances. So various other compliances, whatever is applicable to a corporate debtor. So we actually have segregated a separate team. They specialize into all this. This team is also able to do the work. GST returns can be filed, TDS returns can be filed, TCS returns can be filed, ROC returns can be filed, even IBBI and IPA returns can be filed. So this team is rather more busier than before because the partners have no time. They are not going out. So they are actually now working on the pending compliances. So this period actually is a boon for us because whatever was pending, that is also being done as of now. This is the marketing team, which for the organization it is very important. And but the marketing team would not do much in this period because the customers are not ready with new cases. Banks are not ready with the new cases. The operational creditors are not ready with the new cases. Everyone is looking at the kind of scenario when this lockdown will open. 1 lakh rupees increasing to 1 crore. My understanding is that within this next, once the NCLT opens, 50% of the OC applications would be dismissed, and then NCLT will have sufficient time for the larger issues like fraud applications, Section 43 applications, 45 applications, 66 applications. They would have much more time, and this time this would be actually proving as good for the overall NCLT reputation, overall implementation of IBC. But I wish once this is settled, once the economy settles down, this 1 crore should again come down to 1 lakh, because that's what is the scenario which everyone is now thinking, that the supplier of goods or services, they were actually comfortable, and now again they would probably have no remedy in case their payment is not being made. So this marketing team is doing presently like updating their profile, updating the profile of the partners. They are actually preparing applications. They are preparing applications for empanelment for various banks, knowledge sharing by way of bulk emailing, also preparing for webinars and video meetings. digital marketing of various assets of the corporate that are under sale. So this team is also able to work partly, and the various assets are being uploaded on the property portals, and even the IPE portal that's being done. So this kind of scenario that we have, so the kind of experience that had shared with you, the entire experience. So we can take any questions or anything that you would like to ask.
Yeah. Thank you, Anil ji. Friends, let me tell you, this was the experience. I mean, I know, I mean, many of us are not so big as Anil ji's AAA, but yes, I mean, to all of this, our IPs and all, we can take a lesson that how we can conduct, or rather how we can build our team and use this time of lockdown to further escalate ourselves to the next level. So for this, you see, it's not necessary that you will have all the teams or initially that Anil ji has said, but yes, all the function can be, you see, assigned to a single person depending on how many cases you are dealing with. So I know most of you are very busy in completing the pending CRP jobs and all. Even we are working daily, and our teams are meeting daily. And yes, we are trying to develop the acumen of all our team in building their acumen to the law code and even standardizing our practices. So yes, to take home, this is the best time that we improve ourselves, or rather improve our CIP process in all. And yes, the pending compliances can be taken care of at this time. So friends, for any question you may write in your chat box, in the chat box, or rather you can raise your hand so that I can you can ask it
There are,
directly.
Jitendra ji, there are some questions that I can read,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can read some of the questions, and let us see which uh, uh, the the details. Like there are certain more questions. Let me even come down to. So one is like the there is a question that can you even share the email IDs of the registrar? I think the email ID of registrar is available on the NCLT website, and that you can take from the NCLT website as far as the email ID of the registrar is concerned. Uh, the what individual IPs should do as against IP? This is a very important question, because see, whatever I prepared, I shared with you my experiences. Even I believe I interact with many other IPs, and I believe that whatever I have done, similarly everyone can create multiple capabilities people. Like if I'm saying the liquidation team and the CIRP team, it's basically communication team. They are primarily communicating with the stakeholders or committee of creditors or even the valuers or the transactional auditors. All that kind of communication that they are doing, this is actually same for liquidation and the CIRP. So this is the not that everyone has to make these separate teams. So the one team which actually is a professional team, that team can actually have some one or two or three, whatever you size of your organization is. They should be the combination of a company secretary, a cost accountant, or a lawyer, so they can do all your communications. The freshers are even better than the most experienced, because see, we since we have formats, so they can pick up the format, and they can cut paste, so they can even prepare minutes of the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, or even the notice for these kind of stakeholders consultation committee meeting. So all these teams are basically what I meant to say, that these are the kind of human resources that we require, and we can combine the teams. Now in case we see the we actually can combine the team for taking control and custody, and you can also combine it with the security verification team. So now the see, in case you tell a lawyer that you go and take the control and custody of the company, and you take the inventory of the items there, so that may be slightly difficult. But like instead of 14, 13, 12 meetings, we can have two or three kind of set of people. One is some professionally qualified people who actually have a good communication skills. They can read and write English very well. And the other could be people who are the resources who are able to go around. They can go to the corporate data, take custody, control, security. So these are the kind of people that we have. Then and the third team that you can understand is the asset sale. Asset sale is and the marketing for asset sale is very, very important. Very difficult to have to give training to such kind of people. How would you find a bidder? How would you manage bidders? In some cases, we have seen 25, 30, 25 to 30 bids who actually have given a earnest money deposit. For developing 25, 30 for one or two assets, that means that there must be 100 people they must have visited. You must have facilitated like their visits. So all these teams are required. So I like, let me take another question
is basically the views. Someone is asking for your view on the IBC suspension of Section 7, 9, and 10.
so I think that actually would happen. The suspension are the only thing that we are apprehending. There are two possibilities, Jitinderji. One, that the suspension would only be for those companies who would say that we were impacted by COVID-19. Earlier, we were not in default, and we actually defaulted only because of COVID-19 scenario. However, there are banks, they in fact, they were ready with the lot many cases. They wanted to file applications, and most of the IP selection process has already been conducted in the country. Those companies are very old defaulters, and in case those companies will also take the shelter of this COVID-19, that may not be good for IBC practice. The 6 month kind of suspension would definitely happen. The only understanding that we have not been able to develop so far, would it be restricted to those who are having adversely impacted during this period, or it would be for everyone? So
Yeah,
that is only to be seen so far.
yeah, Raj, you have some question, Mr. Raj Singhania. Then you have raised your hand, so I have unmuted you. I
Yeah.
think.
Good afternoon,
Yeah,
Anil
please.
ji.
Good afternoon,
Yes,
ji.
Anil ji, can you hear me?
Hello.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Okay. Anil ji.
Rajiv ji, please, you may stop. I mean, yeah,
Rajiv, go ahead.
Yeah, Anil ji,
Yes, yes.
one thing I'd like to know, just you have said that during this lockdown period, even we can continue with all the processes.
Yes,
And
yes.
as per Acae order, the period of that this lockdown will be excluded. Now,
Yeah.
my query is, suppose I am conducting a COC meeting in this lockdown period, or doing certain activities in relation to CIRP during this lockdown period, whether in that situation also can I exclude the period of this lockdown?
See, like, let us understand, why would you exclude it? What is the reason that you would like to exclude it? And you would only exclude in case there are some compliances of the time that you were not able to do.
No, it's
And
obvious.
certainly, see, there are two further things. And one is the NCLT order, and the other is the IBBI press report, for which they are actually supposed to come with the section 40A. See, which is very clearly saying that for the timeline in between the CIRP, those would not be seen, like the day on which you should appoint the valuer, the day on which you should determine the available transactions. All that timeline would not be seen during this period. However, 180 days or 270 days or even 330 days, that would continue to be considered as the same. So, and IBBI says that it is only the internal timelines, whereas the NCLAT says that we would actually consider this period to be excluded. And that means that this period would be even excluded from 180 days or even 270 days or even 330 days. I'm not sure whether 330 days, but at least it would be excluded from 180 days. Because for 330 days, again, they would say that it is all inclusive.
Now we all are in a view that the lockdown is around 40 days. So, and I've already completed 4 months of my CIRP. So for remaining 2 months, even if I do compliances, it will not possible to complete it within 180 days, or in the case, maybe if it is 270 days.
Right.
So in that situation, what would be advisable, to exclude the timeline or to comply with the provisions, because the compliance will not be possible as we cannot have COC meetings and everything with regard to approval of resolution plan, and that we cannot have meeting with the resolution applicants and all. Very many physical things has needed to be discussed and everything. In that situation, what should we do?
In this scenario, what Raj is saying is that whether if we do some function which is otherwise you see excluded by the IBBI and the NCLT circular, that it is excluded in the 180 days, or a timeline may not be adhered to if you are not able to. But still, if we suppose if there is a timeline for appointment of valuer, and we do appoint him, we do appoint a valuer. So what he is saying is, should we follow the further timeline, Raj? I think this is what you mean to say.
No, I think even if you do, no, I understood the question. Even if you do this various sub parts of the CIRP on time, and you do part compliances, but still, as per the NCLAT order, the period of lockdown would be excluded.
Right.
And this will be excluded for everyone. I will give you certain examples that we are having some cases where 180 days are over and the resolution plan was passed and it is not being submitted. Now the question is, like, we are not able to submit the application for approval of the resolution plan. Don't see, we don't mind. See, we are not worried because it is automatically extended. Similarly, various other things that we actually see that it is automatically extended. So we were supposed to do something on a particular date, and 180 days is over, 270 days is over. In some cases, the 330 days are over. See, it is very, very cool that whenever the court will open, we will submit. So we are actually preparing all the applications that we are considering that it is automatically extended. Like, see, there are many people, they ask me whether an extension or exclusion application would be submitted to NCLT. So my answer is no. First of all, the exclusion concept is already gone. It is only extension. There is no exclusion concept now. Up to 330, it is only extension. So now up to 330, even beyond that, it is only extension. The word exclusion is over. So the extension, definitely, it is already extended. So like, now the other people, somebody asked me a question other day that whether the fee would be received during this period, whether the COC would later tell us to don't take the fees or take lesser fee during this period. My answer to this is that like, what are the kind of expenditure which normally an IP is supposed to incur has actually been reduced. If IP is incurring all the expenditures, then I don't think there should be any reason for someone asking for the reduction in the fee. In case tomorrow government comes out with a circular, or the court comes out with a circular that the IPs or the even chartered accountants or even professionals are not supposed to pay salaries to full extent, then it may be a genuine requirement from the committee of creditors. Since you are also not paying your salaries as per the government order, then you should also reduce your fee for this period. So this I've taken automatically this question. I know that a lot of people, they think
this is a very
this
useful
question is
question.
very important. This is a good question.
Vijay Bothraji, you have something to say?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Anil, and I'm really impressed with what the deliberations you are having, and really are very, very organized. My all compliments to you.
Thank you very much.
And secondly, actually, I'm also thankful to Mr. Kamal Nayanji, that who has included me in this group. I have two questions in this regard. That actually there are the thing which is now being announced, that this is going to be scrapped for, or not, is not going to be happening for 6 months. That is one. And two, actually, the cases, or rather the petitions which has already been filed with a limit below say 1 crore. So what actually is going to be the fate of all these?
See, I said as far as the operational creditors are concerned, once this NCLT will open, almost 50% of the OC applications would be dismissed. And that actually would prove good for the IBC practice, because the over occupation of NCLT was actually becoming a kind of negative image for the entire profession. Once this 50% applications are taken off their workload, they would be focusing on the larger issues. They would be focusing on the fraud issues. And then the bankers would be convinced, yes, this is the kind of law, and in most cases, they should take this way forward rather than a settlement or rather than RBI circular. This will be a benefit for the IBC professionals, but for the shorter run, there will be a 50% decline in the cases, and 50% cases would be dismissed. Secondly, once the uh, finally final notification comes for the suspension of IBC, it will exactly be known whether all those old default is also covered or it is only the new defaults. What I understand and what the finance minister met when she made this statement, I thought that she's only saying that the persons impacted by COVID-19 would not be pushed to insolvency. All those entities impacted adversely by COVID-19 would not be pushed to insolvency. That means that the older defaults it would not be uh, suspended for that.
Yeah, Rajiv Chopra ji, you have anything to ask?
Yes, Anilji, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay, okay. My question to you is related to what you discussed just now. You said you took the FM that she wanted to express as if the IBC would be deferred only for those kind of cases. But my view is slightly different. If we go by the newspaper reports, in Wuhan, in China, only Wuhan was closed for only Wuhan was closed, and we have seen there, as per the media reports, 240,000 bankruptcies. And here, the whole of the country is locked, and locked for more than 1 month. Government is losing almost 17 billion of collections every week. Now, my point is that if at all this IBC is not suspended, she did not hint for the period, might be 6 months or so, but keeping in view the overall scenario, I think it is likely to be suspended, maybe even for a longer time, and that too might be in tranches, say first 6 months initially, and then maybe extended further also. Why I am saying so is that at the moment there are only 3,000 total cases in NCLT, and NCLT is not in a position to take the burden of those kind of cases. Now imagine the kind of burden we will get if at all those kind of
Rajiv ji, can you come to a question? Your question, please.
my question is similar to that. That why do you think that this operational credit limit should be enhanced to 1 CR after this job is over? Because for two reasons, that the kind of facility, I mean the options available to the operational creditors of proprietorship firms or to the partnership firms are available as on this date, the same would continue to be available to the operational creditors of private limited companies also.
Thank you,
How
Rajiv ji.
do you like to respond it?
Yeah, thank you.
So, Rajiv ji, I think I've already said that presently there are about 25,000 applications which are pending with NCLT. Out of 25,000 applications, more than 60% or 70% has been filed by the operational creditors, and those actually would be dismissed wherever the default is for less than 1 crore. So that will actually give a lot of leeway to the NCLT to function and to focus on the larger issues. So that would be a very important part, because otherwise what we have seen is because of these petty applications for the time being. I'm not saying I'm not in favor of increasing it to 1 crore, because the lowest is the default, highest is the intensity of the insolvency. If a person is not able to pay even 1 lakh of rupees, that means the intensity of the insolvency is very high. So I believe that, but for the time being, it will actually work as a boon for the IBC profession, only because there will be a pause, and the NCLT and all other government agencies, even including the IPs and IPAs, they would get some time in consolidation, sometimes in improving the internal processes. I feel that this is better, and I also feel that what I meant, that the finance minister was probably referring to all those cases which would be adversely impacted in during this lockdown period. But this suspension would not be applicable to earlier cases. The banks were ready for filing, because there are earlier cases with 3 years old NPA, 2 years old NPA, I don't think that should be suspended at this moment.
Thank you. Tarun, you have something to say? Tarun?
Hello.
Yeah, Tarun, please speak up.
Anil ji, good morning. This
Good
is Arun
morning.
Gupta here.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes,
you for
Taranji.
the
Yes, Taranji.
just a thought that the valuations which were done prior to COVID, do you think those should be redone so that the COC has revised expectations when they're comparing, say, resolution plans with the updated valuation? Because the valuations would change drastically.
Very, very important question. Thank you very much for reminding me to this question. This was in my mind that this would require the perspective of the COC. In a very next meeting, after about a month's time, after the lockdown is open, when the economy is open, it would be appropriate for us to go back to COC to understand whether we are still working on the earlier valuation or we should get a fresh valuation. And that is very, very important, because in case the valuations are not correct, although there is a Supreme Court judgment that in case of some differences, this cannot be made as a rule that the resolution plan cannot be for an amount which is less than the liquidation value. That order has already been given by a Supreme Court, but that doesn't mean that in every case the company is going to someone at a value which is much, much less than the liquidation value. So the liquidation value has to be closer to the resolution plan if it is to be accepted by NCLT and even the other courts. Valuation decision, it is not something that the RP should immediately take it after the lockdown is open. This probably will go to COC. The COC will decide whether this particular industry is adversely impacted or not. If this industry is adversely impacted, then of course the COC will decide and guide and rather direct the RP to take a fresh valuation. But not, RP should not get the valuation done without consulting COC of its own after the lockdown is open.
Thank you, Anil ji. I mean, I think this was a very wonderful session, and where we get to know that what one of the best in the industry is doing during this lockdown period. As rightly said by Anil ji, that you see, although this period is excluded from the CIRP, but still there are many things which we can do. Forget about the timeline. Maybe some valuer appointment, or so that what can happen is whatever information which we have with us, even they can do this during this period. So when this lockdown is open, we'll have some extra time. So it will be more useful for us, so that we can, you see, our this lockdown period is effectively utilized, and we are having an extra time after the lockdown. So this whole session was all about that. Let us not be, you see, simply stick to the lockdown, that this is excluded and we sit home doing nothing and doing nothing in the process. Yes, you can choose to do that. But yes, if you do the process, or rather, even if you prepare the progress report, even if you prepare the minutes or formats and all, it will help you a lot when the lockdown is lifted. So with this note, friends, let us all thank you. And I would like Anup Sanghai ji, you are there, Anup ji?
There are some, Jitendra ji, there are some very important questions which are coming.
Yeah, please.
And there are a lot of
yeah,
people.
Please, you may, yeah, if it is ready.
There are some people, they are raising their hands also. And one question which is actually important is that the Umesh Garg ji has asked a question, while we are saying that the valuation, fresh valuation may be done after taking the COC into picture. And he's saying that the valuation is not a section 28(1) item. And I'm sure valuation is not a 28 item. While we are working as per the code, we are also working as an agent of the committee of creditors. If we work only as per the powers given to us by the code, then it would be difficult for us to have a better relationship with the COC. And the IP and the COC, if they don't have a good relationship, if they don't have trust on each other, then it will be very difficult to conduct CIRP or even liquidation. With this thought in mind, I said that the valuation, in case it has to be done, it should be done in consultation with the committee of creditors, because the committee of creditors also know the kind of industry and the kind of impact on that industry because of COVID-19. So there are 5 people, they have a raised hand. I'm not able to see them. In case you are able to see them,
Anilji, all we have rather unmuted all, and all have asked you the question. We have answered all the people which
okay,
have
okay,
raised hand.
great.
So if you still want to, I mean, you have some questions on the chat box, you can see and you can take if it is not answered.
No, I understand the question which are coming in. I understand that the IP has the powers to appoint professionals, but the COC has the power to ratify the fee of the professionals. So we have experienced in our various cases, in case the RP or even the IRP appoints valuers, and finally the COC says that we don't approve this fee. So based on the fee, they are even rejecting the appointments of the valuers and the appointments of the transactional auditors. So the COC, even if we say that the power lies with the IP or RP or IRP, but the approval of the fee of the professionals is a very, very big power with the COC. And while they approve the fee of the professionals, it is automatically the tendency is that they are also approving the name. So this is my experience. I know that this is not an item where COC approval is required. I know that.
So yeah, Kamal Nayanji has
one thing. Yeah, Anilji, don't you feel that Section 10 applications should be allowed in COVID period, because so many companies will find themselves not to in a position to survive at a longer stay, and they would like to go for resolution.
So what I understand, see, like whatever that we are thinking about a kind of bailout package, economic package, where the government might even come out. What we understand, what would be the contours of that package? The contours of that package would be, there would be some process explained that you need to share with us. You need to finally tell us what is the adverse impact of COVID-19 to your company. And we would be able to fund that much. And on that particular funding, there will be some subsidy or some interest subsidy from the government, from the exchequer. This is the kind of bailout package that we are expecting. And there is another area which is going to open, because all these applications will need at least understanding the financials, projecting the financials, making out a case that this is what we lost. But think of a situation that the 5-star hotel has come out. 5-star hotel says that my hotel was this much of revenue was lost, and I incurred this much of expenditure during this period. So the loss during this period was 5 crore. So that 5 crore loss has to be assessed by someone, maybe banks, and that assessment would be based on some calculations where the professionals would be required. And then once this assessment is agreed by the nodal agency, then the loan would be disbursed on a very, very kind of soft terms and conditions. So why I'm saying so is that the Section 10 application is a kind of suicide. Why should that be allowed? Let the person think about itself. Let that person avail the package. Let that person come out of the scenario if the government comes out with a bailout. Section 10 application is only a suicide if it is only being made only because of the COVID-19. If it is because of some earlier issues, that may be separate, because as I said, it is very difficult for a finance minister to suspend IBC entirely for the next 6 months. It is very difficult. I think it should be subjective. It should be based on the losses incurred during this period.
So, Anilji, any the question you may take if it is not answered in the chat box?
No, I think it is not many. What is the status of the first charge holder and the second charge holder at the time of distribution of proceeds under liquidation? I would, this question has come from Mr. Y.K. Gupta, as the email suggests. The answer to this question is that the first charge holder will get the priority and the second charge holder will definitely get the second priority. It is very important that we should understand this Insolvency Law Committee report of March 2018. And we need to read the paragraph number 21.1 to paragraph number 21.6. So these 6 paragraphs, they deal with this subject of first charge holder, second charge holder, subservient charge holder, So the concept which is being accepted now by everyone, that the person is a secured creditor to the extent of the value of the security interest. For the rest of the amount, because I'll just give an example. Not that I'm saying that this is what the court has held, but see, like what we are distributing in our liquidation cases is, suppose a person is having first charge, and the security interest that he has on a property is valued 30 crores, and his loan is only 11 crore. So we are giving him entire 11 crore minus the liquidation cost, and the rest of the the stakeholders, because they have charge on other asset, uh, a bigger plant where they are only getting 20%. So we are giving 100% to one and 20% to others, and also the first charge holders are getting first and the second charge holders are not getting. See, once we see the secured creditors in section 53, if you would simply consider the secured creditors are secured only to the extent of the value of their security interest, first you will assume this and you will allocate at least that much of amount. Then you will see what is the remaining amount. If you are still having some amount, then you have to take a decision how to allocate the remaining amount. Option number one, you stay within the secured creditors and you allocate to all the secured creditors based on their total debt share ratio. This is option number one. Option number two is that you can think about the other people also, but that's not something which is decided so far by any court. What we are doing is, first of all, we are actually allocating the same amount to each and every stakeholder to the extent of the value of security interest, or to the extent of the actual value realized during liquidation proceeds of that asset. In case we still have that surplus amount, we are staying within the secured creditors list and we are allocating the balance amount to all the secured creditors in the remaining debt ratio. After disbursing the secured part, remaining debt ratio, we are allocating the balance one. This is what we are doing, but there is a thought process going into NCLAT that the secured creditors should be considered as secured only to the extent of the value of the security interest that they have. After that, they should be considered as unsecured creditor. That's a concept which is going on. So that means that in case you have something surplus, after you allocate the security interest to all the secured creditors, then you can even consider the unsecured financial creditors also for the allocation. So this is a concept, and I believe this kind of amendment is possible.
All right. Thank you. So, I don't think we have any questions, more from our
Yes.
attendees. So, Vivek, can you please offer the formal vote of thanks to our speaker, Anil ji?
Sure, sure. Thanks, Anilji. Thanks a lot for today's session. And not only people in IP professionals or IP practice, I think for general people who are in audit practice or other practice, they have also lots of takeaways from today's session, as they have learned how to run office digitally, and the benefits of working from home, and travel time being reduced. So I think all the participants had an extraordinary session today, and they were enlightened with your deliberation. So we would like to thank you from bottom of our heart for joining us at AC at 11. And friends, we will continue to have this AC at 11 every day as discussed. And tomorrow, please don't forget to join us in a Zumba session, live Zumba session with Sangvi, which we are doing with a renowned dance institute called Sangvi. So tomorrow 11 a.m. join with live Zumba session with Sangvi at ACA 11. And thank you everyone. Thank you Anilji once again. And thank you all the delegates for joining, because without you all, it won't be possible. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jitendra
you.
ji.
Thank you, Anil ji, for
Thank you very
consenting
much.
to. Thank
ACA
you.
is doing a wonderful job and spreading knowledge everywhere. And also, like I could see this Zumba, this also would be good for health. And my
Yes, yes.
compliments to
And
you, and thank you to you. You are doing a wonderful job. And thank you for giving me this opportunity that I could share my experience with others. Thanks
thank
a
you,
lot.
Anil ji. Yes.
Thank
And
you.
let me tell you, Zumba is for all age. So the people over here who think that Zumba, I'm too old to do Zumba. So please do join us. Maybe you might change your mind.
Certainly, certainly. We might even change our profession, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Good.
always good actually if you do something with passion. I
Yes,
mean,
yes, yes.
so it's very always good to do that. So thank you once again, all.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.